I love this opposition. This is going to be a good one.
Absolutely. So, sun in gate 45, it's gathering together. It's the gate of the gatherer. It's the natural and generally beneficial attraction of life like forces. It's a throat gate. It's tribal, which tribal, anytime you hear tribal, that means support. It's part of the ego circuitry. It links to gate 21, which is biting through for the channel of 4521. It's the channel of money. It is the single voice of the tribe saying, I have. It's an ability to gather people together to manifest the tribe's needs, expand the community, and bring harmony to those around you.
Yeah, and bring a sense of basically teaching the masses. It's always about educating the masses, informing. This is our tribe. The informing is this is our tribe. The I have is I have this tribe.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it is that like voice of the tribe. And so that 4521, it's like it's this channel of like the monarch, right? It's the king, it's the queen.
Yeah.
And being a
Yeah.
good king, being a good queen, being a good monarch of your tribe, a good leader of your tribe is having those resources and then sharing them for the benefit of the tribe. So, like you said, it's sharing resources, it's sharing education and knowledge because you want your tribe to be educated. You want your tribe to have the resources it needs. So, it's being responsible in those resources and distributing them for the benefit of all.
Yeah, it speaks when it's being, it's higher expression. It's speaking we the people. That's it. And its lower expression, it's simply the possessive. 45 always has a possessive nature, a
Hmm.
controlling possessive nature in a sense, because I have. It's
Hmm.
mine. Um, and a low expression of that is obvious. And the high expression of that is we have.
Hmm.
You
And
know,
that,
it,
and oh, sorry, I was just going to say that, like, it's note with that, like, we have, I have, we the people, that's only tribal. So when it's like we the people is like a collective thing, gets a little funny since that's actually like within design, it's tribal.
yep, absolutely. So we the people of our tribe. Yeah, I should have
Yes, yes,
qualified.
yes. Oh no, you did it perfectly. It's just interesting when you hear that more colloquially
Right.
from
Yeah.
a collective kind of setting where it can kind of feel a bit off, since at
Mhm.
that core circuitry is tribal.
Yeah, absolutely. And the need to support. So these are two support gates that are here. Are we moving on to 26 and then we'll put them together?
We can, whatever you think is best. Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to move on? We go. So the Earth in 26, right? So this is the taming power of the great. It's the egoist. It's the maximization of the power of memory applied to the nurturing of continuity. So again,
And
this one, oh, go ahead.
no, nothing. I'm just, it's true. That's what it is.
Oh yeah. So it's another it's an ego gate from the will center, the heart center. It's again tribal. So again, tribal equals support. We can just kind of smoosh those two together so they link in your brain. That tribal circuitry is about support of the tribe and one another. The ego circuit, it links to gate 44, which is coming to meet. It's also the gate of alertness. And then the 4426, that channel is the channel of surrender. So the gate 26 is the natural salesperson who is actually expected to exaggerate the innate, and it's the innate ability to manipulate memory coupled with the energy of the ego it's designed to withstand with rejection.
It's designed to punch through too. This gate loves to roar. I mean, like, it loves to, I did it. And it, it's worth noting that the channel of surrender is about the surrender of two opposing forces to one another. That's the
Mm-hmm.
surrender. And in soon as that surrender is there, it transmits. This is the voice that transmits a message the tribe needs to hear to protect the continuity, because that sensitivity to support runs deep. It's personal in the tribe. So both these gates. So we have these two gates in the sun, and this is in the earth, and then we have the 45 in the sun as a you know as a polarity, not polarity, but as in opposition to each other with in the wheel. This is brings a very tribal nature to this week
Yeah.
that we've been in, and the tribal nature is I like the continuity of my tribe. 26 doesn't quite know what that is, but it knows how to bluster about what it's not. And 45 does sort of know what it is because it knows what it does or doesn't have is for the safety of the tribe. Both very sensitive. So all this week, or for the next couple to today and tomorrow and for the last 4 days, You've been sensitive to what the tribe needs and its continuance with a slight ego bluster to say, I'm going to go get it. 26 rattles the sabers before battle. 45 sanctions the battle.
Mm.
I have the resources to win this battle, and it educates the tribe we can and we have to do this. And 26 and 21 lead the charge. Technically fit, and the rest of the three gates, 51 as well, depending.
Mhm.
So what else would we expect as this, because this energy is pouring down on us all this week? These were the children that were being born. And this is part of the cross of rulership. It is here to rule. And ultimately, there's if it's not dominion, I forgot what the left angle is of this, but
I can look
in
that one up.
yeah, in rulership, yeah, a quarter of civilization, if you're looking in the book.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
going to it now.
in rulership, since that's what this cross is, think about it. Rulership is this process by which we listen, we figure out, we educate, and we do so with like an ego willpower that supports and holds things together, because the ego does the work and the throat is the manifestation center. So, working manifested. That's something that happens this week. And taking care of your tribe as it relates to suddenly recognizing what you do and don't have, and finding a possessive voice in yourself. By the way, a possessive voice is a great voice to have. Again, there's higher and lower expressions to all this, right? So most couples would like at certain times their partner to be possessive of them. Every once in a while,
Mhm.
it's like, just possess me, sweetie, because
Yeah.
it's a thing, right? It
Yeah,
feels
no one wants to be a stray animal, you
right,
know?
right,
Like,
right.
you wanna be kept and cared for and loved, and not in a
Right.
weird possessive way, but, like, you don't wanna be a stray, you wanna have your partner, you wanna have your buddy.
Right, exactly, and that's the very type of energy that should literally be floating through as these sun earth gates are transiting us, because it pours this energy into our genome. And if you don't have a 26 or you don't have a 45, suddenly you do, and it links up gates, and 45 is a manifesting channel when you have 21. And so just manifested possessiveness for tribal purposes in a high expression that knows it has what it needs for continuity. And in that ego stream of awareness that goes from 26, 44, 32, 54, I went backwards on that. And that stream is very sensitive to the continuity. I have the ego willpower and what's needed for the continuity of my tribe or not. These are questions that will pour through the people, and continuity is survival at
Mhm.
its core. And so this is a powerful energy running over the planet right now, and it might be confusing to certain people.
Yeah, I
You know,
mean, I definitely see that coming up in, some of my experiences recently of that continuity of the tribe of just like, hey, what is best for us to be able to continue doing this, and what or who may not be the best with love, separation, but that level of protection and awareness of just, no, this, I'm taking care of what is mine.
right, right. That's tribal voice. I
Mm,
have I have the will to transmit this message. You're out, and with the nodes in the sky, I'm in control of that will.
yeah,
And the solution is you're out. So
yeah,
just type of thing. It happened across all of Europe. I mean, it was almost universal. You never see this. So
yeah.
that's the will of the people talking, and this helped them talk. I mean, that's divine timing. Now, I
Well,
think
it
now
always is.
it all. So, and 100 other examples of this just around the world if you just start to look at things. But this is a perfect timing for this stuff right in the middle of summer, basically.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Very cool, very cool. And we have the last slide. So
Yep.
again, just reiterating June 7th to June 12th. So just until tomorrow. So maybe look back the past few days of what you're kind of seeing. And the first, the right angle cross for these gates is the cross of rulership. And it's so the people who've been born the past few days, it's people who are here to be offered or to exercise power. It's that, again, it's like that king, that queen, that monarchical voice.
Right. Notice the word offered.
Yeah.
We're in a nine-centered form.
Mm.
Please, it's so important. The old seven-centered form that we left behind in order to be human designed that we can read. Um, that old form that we left behind, this wasn't their thing. That wasn't offered. They took it. Everything was always taken one way or another, and people just submitted to that. They're like, "Oh well, this is a new thing.
This
It
is
was
what
taken.
it is. Meh.
It is. They killed my uncle. Okay, I'm still here. Be good. I'll be good, or whatever."
Yeah, survival was, well, that's what it is. And if I'm going to survive, I got to go along with this
Go
system of
on.
authority because
I'll,
what am I going to do?
I'll lose my head. Blah blah blah. Yeah. And now in a nine-centered form, it does have to be offered. Taken is rejected. To take is to be rejected. Not always, because sometimes the strong man wins, right? If people are afraid enough, then if he has the
Mhm.
appearance of winning, or she.
Mhm.
But mostly in every other setting where you're normal, like us, it has to be offered. No one will accept the ruler
And
that you
no
didn't
one
offer.
wants to be lorded over, especially
Right.
now. It's just like, okay, then I'm gonna go do my own thing. Like, I don't need you. We don't need it in that same way where you had to submit. So in your typical situations, it's like you want to have a system where like somebody needs to be in charge, somebody's got to be dad, somebody, it's just the nature of how we function. But it's like you want it to be correct, you want it to be everybody working together, and sure, you're doing this and I'm doing this and we're both putting it in to like work together. It's like you need that system in that order, but you want it to feel good, you want it to be correct. You don't want the boss that's screaming at you and yelling at you and being a jerk, because you're just going to go find something else to do. There's more options available now where we don't just have to submit and deal with that. And so I think that's a big thing we're definitely learning together is, okay, how do I do what's correct for me and then be in situations with other people who are correct, and that like attracts like. And wow, when we're doing that and we're all doing what we are individually good at together and what we can grow towards together. And I think that's like a big thing of the 2027 shift, which I'm sure we'll be getting into that more deeply in the podcast. But it's a big world theme energetic shift that we're heading towards. And I really truly believe that's what a lot of it is going to be, is how do I as an individual do what is correct for me to be in alignment so I can play my role so well, and then everyone else could do their role so well, and we could all put this together and come together and build something wonderful.
Think about what that shift is. It's moving into the sleeping phoenix.
Yeah.
That's the overall right now. The cross hanging out over us for the past 415 years is the what is it? The cross of when you got
The
the
planning,
planning. Thank you.
planning and penetration, I believe.
So when we move into the next one, we're moving into the phoenix.
Yeah.
Yep. And so it's going to be a big deal. And to be offered that is, it'll never work right if you're not offered and you try and take it. And it always
Yeah.
works right when it is offered, because when it's offered, suddenly the sense of hierarchy sort of melts away.
And it becomes more natural. It's not like it's not a authoritarian, it's not
Right.
totalitarian, it's not something bossing you around. It's just a natural of like, okay, somebody's got to be the CEO, somebody's got to be the vice president, somebody's got to be this, but there's mutual respect. And
Right.
what's really cool, I love the sleeping phoenix. My boyfriend is a sleeping phoenix, so I've seen this play out with him. Of, it's kind of like the Harry Potter too, when Harry goes to Dumbledore's office and like the phoenix is like looking all a mess, and then
Mm.
like the phoenix just like bursts into flames, and Harry's like, oh no, I'm gonna be blamed for killing the phoenix, I didn't do it. And Dumbledore's like, oh, it's a shame you had to see him on a burn day, right? And
Yeah,
so that kind of energy where we're like towards the end where we're looking kind of raggedy and all messed up, and we're getting close to that rebirth. And so it's looking a little ugly and messy as we're like coming towards the end of that cycle, but when that phoenix is reborn and comes back anew in the flames and that light that comes through and invigorates us, so like the sleeping phoenix like brings that life and sparks people back to life in the most beautiful, beautiful way.
absolutely. Yeah. And so I just love the word offered. It's a
Yeah.
big departure from taken. And that's the big difference between our old form and the one we're in now. The form we're in now is designed to move towards communion. So I suggest we all get it right ASAP so we
Yeah.
can stop the burning of this, the burning zones that are everywhere.
Yeah. And so then we're going to look at the hexagrams finally for gate sun in gate 45, the gathering, and then 26 with integrity, right? So within these hexagrams on the sun, the gathering side, you have lake over earth. And then on gate 26, you have mountain over heaven, right? So if you've been paying attention, then you can see that for the past few weeks, the bottom three, the earth and the heaven, have been the same. So those move through and continuous, and then the top ones shift through, right? And again, the solid lines are that masculine yang energy, right? That electric energy moving straight forward. And the broken lines are that feminine yin energy, which is that magnetic receptive. So you can see this balance between the 45-26 and any of the polarities, that they're exactly opposite one another. So
They're in direct opposition, and this is part of the genetic code too. By the way, in the laying out of the wheel, all the hexagrams had to be in direct opposition to each other. So when you take that along with the Sphinx, along with the fact that our genetic code has a base pair that science measured, and you line our genetics up according to their base pair, the wheel lays out only one way. It's rather amazing. So suddenly those I Ching hexagram chops from 1 to 64 stop being 1 to 64, and they actually, boom, they flower out into the wheel that
oh
becomes
yeah,
it's amazing. The wheel is amazing. It's worth
it's so
staring at.
beautiful.
Yeah, I stare at that thing
Oh, I
sometimes.
love it. I love how you can go from the broken line and then the solid line, right? The masculine, the feminine, the one and the zero, and you can go from just that base of masculine, feminine, one and zero, and then extrapolate it out like into the eight main ones, and then into the 64, which then goes into the entirety of human experience. Like it's such like nerdy beyond belief, but I love it and it's so beautiful. So I'm so excited to get to share it with everyone.
I love that the yin is called earth when it's all three yin. So I see how
Yeah,
they're I finally figured out how these names are working, by the way, or I'm seeing how they're working.
that's exactly it. I was so excited to like play with this.
Yeah, so I find it interesting that the sun's energy in 45, the gathering, is foundationalized by the yin.
Hmm.
So the voice of the tribe, the king and the queen, the
Mm.
monarch, the sort of ruling voice of the tribe that is offered to exercise power.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, that's a yin power.
Yeah.
Mother, mother, please hold us together. I just find this, and I just find that gorgeous. And over on the other side, I talked about the saber rattling, right? Being in your
Oh,
integrity,
yeah.
transmitting the good message. That sounds like dad. And for some reason, it's called dad heaven, but I guess dad and God and heaven all sort of
Yeah, the
bob.
sun. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's in the earth. It's just funny. So the yin earth is currently rising up the yang of 26. 26 is very yangy.
Mhm.
Very
Yeah, it's
yin
very
yang.
interesting. I think we've talked about this. I think Dr. Zach Bush is the one we both pulled this from. But like the great bird, right? There's been this great eagle in the sky, and you can go back, thousands of years, and the feminine, right? And the feminine goddesses were strong and flying with one wing really hard, right? And then we've been in this time now on the flip side where that like masculine wing of the bird has been flying really hard, right? But we kind of just you end up spinning in a circle. And now we're in this beautiful time where that masculine and the feminine are coming together, right? Sacred compatibility. We are nothing without one another to work together. So this great eagle, this bird, can fly with both of its wings and like guide us and soar into something new and beautiful. Like I think that's truly what we're in, and it's amazing. It's a little messy, it's a little dirty. We're ashamed to see us on a burn day before that phoenix rebirths, but we're
Well,
in a cool time.
the euphemisms are flying. A little messy. Yeah, potentially. That's the
Oh,
thing.
if it
So,
was perfect, it'd be boring. No one
it,
wants to watch the perfect movie.
dude, we already know. You're so right about that. Life is drama, right?
Oh
So,
yeah, without it, we'd be bored.
did you look up real quick what the
Yes.
left angle was?
Yeah, so the left angle is the cross of confrontation. It's
Confrontation. Okay, that makes sense for this. I knew it, yeah, it wasn't Dominion. That's when the 47 and the 22 are in the Sun Earth.
yeah. Want me to read it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
People who govern the resources of the tribe in times of crisis and conflict, willing to confront with their power or challenge those who wish to rule so they can stake their claim.
Confrontation, standing up for the
Yeah.
thing. The
Yeah.
two king lions going at it for the tribe. That's for the whatever you call it when it's bunch of lions. But yeah, the pride actually, the pride of lions. I just find that what was the juxtaposition? Do you
The
mind?
juxtaposition, yeah, for sure. So for everyone listening at home, so you can know what we're talking about. So the first one is the right angle cross of rulership. Then it goes into the juxtaposition cross of possession, and then the left angle cross of confrontation. So the
So
middle
go
one is the possession, which people of influence who can step into a rulership role for the community and take charge or rule during crisis and conflict. So that conflict
well,
starts to come in the middle, and then the different ways to deal with it.
Yep, for the community. Now, if the community isn't for that particular ruler, that ruler is not offered, and he or she is not for the community. Back to that word offer. I love this word offer because
Oh,
it's
so relevant.
so relevant, different from taking, obviously. So think about that movement. Rulership is sort of a right angle process. I'm figuring out how my possessiveness rules according to what I am offered. And then it moves into possessiveness. I possess this and its time is needed. So I go. And then the left angle, which is out there in the world, expressing out, it's universalizing, is saying, oh, yeah, you're challenging that? Confrontation time. These are all correct. That's the biological movement of these last 5 days, 6 days, basically. And we're in
Gosh,
that
that's so
we're in that
cool.
left angle movement of it. So now is the time to be now's the time confrontations get settled over the next 2 days. And
Mm,
settled according to your highest principles. Just make it be that way because it can fall into a low expression quickly. Think
mhm.
about it. Yeah. So
Oh, absolutely. Gosh, this is so cool. I love doing this with you.
so both danger and goodness in this particular cross as it relates to our human way and what we're looking at in the world today and so forth.